Namaskar, this is Midday Prime. Kushinagar, an important destination on the Buddhist circuit, has a new international airport. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had inaugurated the Kushinagar airport in Uttar Pradesh, and he highlighted the special attention being given to the Buddhist devotees as a priority for both the central and the UP governments. The airport will develop the economy of the region and accelerate job creation and growth. That's our main story today. But first, let's begin with the main news, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the Kushinagar International Airport in Uttar Pradesh and says that the land that witnessed the journey of Buddha from attaining knowledge to gaining Mahaparinirvana is connected with the world. The Prime Minister also participates in an event marking the Abhidhamma Day at the Mahaparinirvana temple, and he calls on the world to follow the message of Buddha. The Prime Minister lays the foundation stone of a medical college to be built at a cost of 280 crore rupees in Kushinagar. Prime Minister delivers the video message to the joint conference of CVC and CBI, and he says that New India is no longer ready to accept corruption, wants transparency, efficiency, smooth governance, and he further says that the government has succeeded in instilling confidence in containing corruption in the last 6 to 7 years. A significant reduction in rainfall activity over Uttarakhand from today, says the IMD. It predicts isolated to scattered showers. Chardham Yatra to resume today. The Home Minister Amit Shah to hold a review meeting to take stock of the situation in the hill state. Over 99.26 crore doses of COVID vaccines administered so far. Over 37 lakh vaccine doses administered in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate stands at 98.14%. Moscow format of consultations on Afghanistan to take place today. India to also participate in the meeting. The US not to join Russia's Afghanistan talks. Russia not officially in a hurry to recognize the Taliban for now. Wants the Taliban to stand true to their promises. North Korea confirms successful submarine launch missile test. Pyongyang describes it as the world's most powerful weapon. It comes weeks after South Korea had unveiled a similar weapon of its own. And in sports, 2021 T20 World Cup, Scotland and Bangladesh win their qualifying matches on Tuesday. Today, India to take on Australia in a second warm-up match at the ICC Academy ground. This is in Dubai. Let's begin with the big story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Kushinagar International Airport today. It has been built at an estimated cost of 260 crore rupees. It will facilitate domestic and international pilgrims to visit the Mahaparinirvana Sthal of Lord Buddha and is an endeavor in connecting the Buddhist pilgrimage holy sites around the world. It has added a chapter, a historic chapter in the civil aviation history of Uttar Pradesh.
और मल्टी मॉडल कनेक्टिविटी से जुड़े इस संकल्प के साथ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर निर्माण को आजादी के अमृतकाल में नई गति देने के लिए पीएम गति शक्ति की शुरुआत की गई है। देश की विकास यात्रा में अहम भागीदार के रूप में भारत के एविएशन सेक्टर ने गत वर्षों में अभूतपूर्व प्रगति की है। देश में जहां 2014 में केवल 74 हवाई अड्डे संचालित थे, वहीं विगत 7 वर्षों में 62 नए हवाई अड्डे संचालित किए गए हैं। उड़ान योजना
भगवान बुद्ध से जुड़े स्थानों को विकसित करने के लिए, बेहतर कनेक्टिविटी के लिए, श्रद्धालुओं की सुविधा के निर्माण पर भारत द्वारा आज विशेष ध्यान दिया जा रहा है। भगवान बुद्ध की जन्मस्थली लुम्बिनी यहां से बहुत दूर नहीं है। कपिलवस्तु भी बिल्कुल पास में ही है। भगवान बुद्ध ने जहां पहला उपदेश दिया, वो सारनाथ की भूमि भी 100-250 किलोमीटर के दायरे में ही आ जाती है। जहां बुद्ध को ज्ञान प्राप्त हुआ, वो बोध गया भी कुछ ही घंटों की दूरी पर है। ऐसे में ये क्षेत्र सिर्फ भारत के ही बौद्ध अनुयायियों के लिए ही नहीं, बल्कि श्रीलंका, थाईलैंड, सिंगापुर, लाओस, कंबोडिया, जापान, कोरिया, ऐसे अनेकों देशों के नागरिकों के लिए भी एक बहुत बड़ा श्रद्धा का और आकर्षण का केंद्र बनने जा रहा है।
The inauguration of the international airport by Prime Minister in Kushinagar marks an important day of the Abhidham Divas. On a full moon day, it commemorates Lord Buddha's descent from Tushita and the exposition of the Holy Buddha relics. In an exclusive interview with DD India, the Foreign Secretary Vardhan Shringla said that the day would further strengthen our ties not only in the neighborhood but also in the extended neighborhood.
Representatives of 12 countries have witnessed this historic occasion. How do you feel about it?
Well, today, as you say, is a very historic day. It is the inauguration of the Kushinagar airport, but also a celebration of the Abhidhamma Day, which was presided over by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. We had a very important delegation from Sri Lanka. We had the Minister of Youth and Sports, Shri Namal Rajapaksa, along with a number of other cabinet ministers of Sri Lanka, and a 100-member delegation of senior monks from Sri Lanka who had come in. They also carried with them the Vaskadua relics of Lord Buddha, which is there in the Vaskadua monastery in Sri Lanka. These are very sacred relics which actually are part of the Kapilvastu relics. And to bring them to Kushinagar, which is the area, which is the place where Lord Buddha attained Mahaparinirvan, is, I think, very, very symbolic. Today is also full moon day, so from a Buddhist point of view, it is a Buddha Purnima occasion, and so every important aspect and auspicious aspect of this event, I think, has to be kept in mind and noted as being very relevant to the ceremony today. We were also very happy that as many as 12 ambassadors and representatives of Buddhist countries from our neighborhood, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, from our extended neighborhood, from Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Mongolia, Republic of Korea, but also Japan, and Laos and Cambodia attended this ceremony. I think all of them felt that this is an important occasion because it also not only demonstrated the links between India and the bridge of Buddhism between India and the rest of the world, but also enabled easy access for Buddhist pilgrims, tourists from all over the world to come directly to Kushinagar, which is one of the most important sites of Buddhism, as I said, where Lord Buddha attained Mahaparinirvan. So it's I think a historic and auspicious occasion, and all of those who are here, from the Sri Lankan delegation to the foreign ambassadors, have been very, very honored to have been part of this event.
How crucial is today's day as far as strengthening the diplomatic ties with our neighboring countries and also in the extended neighborhood?
Well, it's a very important day from the point of view that India is the land of Lord Buddha, the land of Buddhism. Honorable Prime Minister in his speech mentioned that for every Buddhist living outside India, it is always a desire to come to India and visit the sites that have been associated with Lord Buddha. I think Minister Kiren Rijiju also mentioned that in his speech. And what we are doing is, by commemorating this day, we are actually felicitating that link of Buddhism between India and Southeast Asia and the rest of the world. And I think that's very significant.
So there you heard the Foreign Secretary. He makes it very clear that today's day will mark an important chapter as far as strengthening the bilateral ties with cameraman Jai Shankar in Kushinagar. This is Vishal Baristo, DD India.
Well, the Sri Lankan minister, Namal Rajapaksa, landed in Kushinagar with a 125-member delegation directly from Colombo. He landed at the Kushinagar International Airport. Around 100 monks have accompanied him, carrying Buddhist relics, as we said. So in this exclusive interview with DD India, Namal Rajapaksa highlighted the common vision that the leadership of both countries share, and he thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi for 15 million grant to Sri Lanka for development of Buddhist sites.
How important is this occasion for you?
Well, I mean, the relationship between India and Sri Lanka is very strong. And also we believe the Kushinagar, where we believe the Parinirvana of Lord Buddha took place, is a very important and symbolic state or a city for the Buddhist pilgrims, not only from Sri Lanka but all over the world. And it's a great honor for us today, for myself and my delegation, to be on the first inaugural flight to land at the Kushinagar International Airport. Having direct access to cities like Kushinagar, will always be a helping hand for tourism. Definitely support the industry, tourism industry, and to make it to make it reality. The vision of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This visit has a couple of state ministers and 100 Buddhist clergy. Senior Buddhist monks represent coming all the way from Sri Lanka. It shows how deep the relationship is when it comes to religion and culture, and also the people-to-people relationship between our two countries. So, and also the both leaders, Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, and also the President of Sri Lanka, Mr. Rajapaksa, they both share the common vision of people-centric development. So we believe this visit will enhance that people-to-people relationship and strengthen give more strength to the bilateral relationship in coming years.
So since Sri Lanka was the first country where ambassadors from Emperor Ashoka, his children, had gone to spread the word of Lord Buddha, how important is the preaching of Lord Buddha?
Well, I mean, the Buddhism, the greatest gift that Sri Lanka has ever got from India. And we believe that that has changed our culture and taught us a peaceful way of life. So we believe now with the pandemic, the COVID-19 situation, everyone has realized, how challenging life is going to be, and it's not the comfortable life that we used to have. So things have changed, and we have to adapt to a new normal lifestyle.
So there you heard the Lankan minister. He says that this opening of the international airport in Kushinagar will go a long way, not only in strengthening the ties between India and Sri Lanka, but also will have a multiplier effect on the hospitality and the aviation and tourism industry. With cameraman Jai Shankar, this is Vishal Baristo, DD News, Kushinagar.
Well, in an exclusive conversation with DD India, the ambassador of Bhutan, Major General Wetsop Namgyel, described the inauguration of the Kushinagar airport as a massive boon to the tourist sector and the Buddhist circuit.
Day for Kushinagar, and I have with me Major General Namgyal, who is diplomat from Bhutan. Let's talk to him and find out. General Namgyal, India and Bhutan share a very special relationship. Now, in that context, how would Kushinagar play a key role?
Well, as we all know, Kushinagar is the sacred place where Lord Buddha entered into Parinirvana. And for all Buddhists, and especially Buddhists in Bhutan, Kushinagar is a very sacred pilgrimage destination. And we already have an international airport in Bodh Gaya. Now when you have an international airport at Kushinagar, this makes it even more convenient to complete the Buddhist circuit in a quicker way. And so I would say that this is a very important development, not only for Kushinagar, the UP, Gorakhpur, but also for friendly neighbors and Buddhist country like Bhutan and all other Buddhist countries. The opening of this international airport, I think, is a very good way of increasing the connectivity.
This airport can also play a big role in promoting tourism and also the hospitality industry between the two countries.
The number of tourists coming to Kushinagar would increase. Bodh Gaya, already everybody used to go to Bodh Gaya. Sarnath and Varanasi was also having airports, so it's internationally connected. But Kushinagar has not had an international airport for a long time. And once you have an international airport, the tourism sector will automatically pick up. Hotels will come up, tour operators will plan the Buddhist circuit, and so it will have a good impact on the tourism industry, both in Bhutan and in India.
Now you heard General Nangyal. He says that the international airport would definitely promote the tourist Buddhist circuit, but also would promote tourism between Bhutan and India.
Well, the ambassador of Thailand, Patarat Hongstong, says that the Kushinagar, the place Kushinagar, it lies in the heart of the people of Thailand. The ambassador hopes that after the inauguration of this airport, both countries can boost trade ties as well.
A very big day as far as Kushinagar is concerned, because now an international flight is, you have a direct access. So how do you feel about it, especially the relations between India and Thailand, and how can Kushinagar play a key role?
Actually, Kushinagar is already a place that, in the heart of Thai people, since we are mainly a Buddhist, and they like to come to Kushinagar as part of the Buddhist circuit. Even, long times ago, last year, before COVID-19, we already have about 100,000 Thai coming to India, and most of them come to Buddhist circuit, including Kushinagar. So definitely having the international flight, and maybe in the future direct flight between Thailand and Kushinagar will be very helpful and facilitate the numbers of the Thai tourists coming here, I'm sure for that. And in the future, we hope that we would be able to increase not only on the tourism, but maybe on the trade and also on the other connectivities like investment in UP as well as in Kushinagar. So having the international flight.
So there you heard the ambassador from Thailand. Kushinagar can play a key role, not only developing the Buddhist circuit, but also strengthening the bilateral relationships.
And in another exclusive conversation with DD India, the Deputy High Commissioner of Singapore, Alice Cheng, expects the pandemic situation to settle down soon, and said that Kushinagar International Airport will play a key role in promoting the Buddhist circuit.
How do you see the bond between Singapore and India growing?
I think Singapore has a significant Buddhist population, and of course India is the birthplace of Buddhism. So having an international airport would definitely aid in the ease of Buddhist pilgrims from Singapore wanting to come to India, and to Kushinagar in particular and UP to do the Buddhist trail. I think it is a very moving experience for Buddhists to come to the birthplace of Lord Buddha, and we hope that with this new airport, more of our pilgrims will have easier access to India and to UP.
This airport is also going to have a multiplier effect, especially for the hospitality industry, for the aviation industry. Singapore as a leader in this region. So what do you say on that?
I think the key for tourism is always connectivity. Once you have connectivity, it will make it much easier for the tourism industry to look at Kushinagar and look at the other places on the Buddhist circuit a bit closer.
And how do you see the rise in tourism, especially those coming from Singapore, because Kushinagar is an important sacred destination as far as Buddhist circuit is concerned?
I think unfortunately we're still in COVID times, so hopefully post-COVID people will be looking to places that will fulfill them spiritually more. And of course, besides the Buddhist pilgrims, I think other tourists will also be interested to knowing more about this sacred history in Kushinagar and the Buddhist circuit.
So there you heard the Deputy High Commissioner from Singapore. She hopes that post-COVID times there would be a big influx of tourists from Singapore.
The Ambassador of Vietnam, Pham Shan Chao, has been a frequent visitor to Kushinagar, and speaking exclusively to DD India, Ambassador Chao said that there has been a sea change in the infrastructure development in Kushinagar. The international airport will be giving a big boost to tourism.
I have with me the ambassador from Vietnam. Let's talk to him and find out Sir, first of all, how's the feeling when you are here in Kushinagar, a very, very sacred place?
I feel very peaceful, very secure, and very tranquil in mind and heart. This is not my first trip to Kushinagar. This is my third trip. And this is a very well-known religious destination for Vietnamese Buddhists.
So since this is your third visit, how do you see things? How do you see the change that Kushinagar has seen, especially after this international airport coming up?
3 years ago, when I first visited this place, I heard about this project of building a new terminal for the international airport. And now that project has come to be a reality. I would like to congratulate the government of India and the government of UP for this successful project. I think it is very meaningful in many, many ways. Number one, it will help to develop tourism in this part of India. Number two, it will promote more tourists coming from not only Vietnam but different countries to this place, and through that, that will enhance the better understanding of Indian culture, Indian people, and especially Buddhism, which was born from India. And number three, that will also boost development in this part as tourists is coming in.
So let's move on now to our National Prime segment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed a joint conference of the Central Vigilance Commission and the Central Bureau of Investigation via video conferencing. In his address, the Prime Minister highlighted the Centre's efforts in stopping corruption and creating confidence within the nation. Prime Minister Modi said that due to the efforts in the last 6 to 7 years, the government has succeeded in creating confidence within the nation that it's possible to contain corruption. The Prime Minister added that today the nation believes that it's possible to avail the benefits of government schemes without any middlemen or bribes.
बीते 6-7 सालों के निरंतर प्रयासों से हम देश में एक विश्वास कायम करने में सफल हुए हैं कि बढ़ते हुए करप्शन को रोकना संभव है। आज देश को ये विश्वास हुआ है कि बिना कुछ लेन देन के, बिना बिचौलिए के भी सरकारी योजनाओं का लाभ मिल सकता है। और आज देश को ये भी विश्वास हुआ है कि देश को धोखा देने वाले, गरीब को लूटने वाले कितने भी ताकतवर क्यों ना हो, देश और दुनिया में कहीं भी हो, अब उन पर रहम नहीं किया जाता, सरकार उनको छोड़ती नहीं है।
The Prime Minister said that India of the 21st century, along with modern thinking, stresses on using technology for humankind's welfare, and he underlined that this new India, it innovates, initiates and implements, and that the new India is no longer ready to accept corruption. That corruption was part of a system, and he further said that new India wants transparent systems, efficient processes and smooth governance.
ट्रस्ट और टेक्नोलॉजी से एफिशिएंट गवर्नेंस और ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस पर क्या असर हुआ है, ये आप सभी भली भांति जानते हैं। परमिशन और कंप्लायंस के नाम पर, बिजनेस को शुरू करने और बंद करने के नाम पर, बैंकों से लोन लेने या लोन को रफा दफा करने को लेकर जो कुछ भी अतीत में हुआ है, जो देश को नुकसान हुआ है, उसे अब ठीक किया जा रहा है। बीते सालों में सैकड़ों ऐसे पुराने कानूनों के जाल को हमने साफ किया है और आज की चुनौतियों को देखते हुए सख्त नए कानून भी देश को दिए हैं।
The death toll in rain-related incidents in Uttarakhand is reported to be 46. 11 bodies are missing. Kumaon is the worst affected region in the state. 27 deaths were reported from Nainital district. The Chief Minister, Pushkar Dhami, continues to conduct on-site inspections in the rain-affected areas of Nainital, Almora, Champawat and Udham Singh Nagar. And he visited the rain-affected areas of Garhwal and Kumaon regions. He did so yesterday. He inquired about the well-being of the affected people.
अभी तक ऑफिशियली हमारे पास 46 लोगों की कैजुअलिटी होने का समाचार मिला है। अभी 11 लोग उसमें अभी मिसिंग हैं, कुछ घायल लोग हैं, उन सबको मिलाकर चूँकि अभी आंकड़ा 46 का है।
India is inching even closer to administering 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines. The total vaccination coverage has now exceeded 99 crore. In fact, it's 99.53 crore vaccine doses have been administered so far nationwide in this vaccination drive. And out of this, more than 41.36 lakh people were vaccinated in the last 24 hours. 99.53 crore people have been vaccinated so far. Vaccinations have been administered so far. And we can see that the counting is going on. This is the reverse counting, so that when it reaches, in fact, it's 56 lakh more. In fact, we can see that that number is coming down slowly, and this is the speed at which India is vaccinating its population. This is a live count that is coming down. So currently just 56,87,000 more vaccination doses to be administered for 1 billion to be reached. In a crackdown on overground workers of terrorist organizations, the NIA conducted raids at 11 places in Jammu and Kashmir, which include Baramulla, Pulwama, Sopore and Kulgam. The searches are being carried out at some residential houses in Srinagar and other locations. This is in connection with the terror conspiracy case registered by the NIA regarding violent terrorist acts in Jammu and Kashmir by cadres of the proscribed terrorist organizations like the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Hizbul Mujahideen, Al-Badr and their affiliates. Prior to this, the NIA had also arrested 9 terrorists. Preliminary investigation has revealed that the arrested accused persons are terror associates or they are OGWs of such proscribed terrorist organizations and have been instrumental in providing logistical support to terrorists and facilitating them in carrying out terror activities. The investigation in the case continues. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations took place in Russia, where 75 Bollywood-trained dancers of Russia paid tribute to the legendary actor Raj Kapoor. Now, around 19 super-hit songs from Raj Kapoor's films were performed by the artists, and the famous song from Raj Kapoor's film Avara is hugely popular in Russia.
As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations, 75 Bollywood-trained dancers of Russia commemorated the 75th anniversary of India's independence with the everlasting memories of the legendary Indian film icon Raj Kapoor. The great actor was a favorite of the Russian audiences, and every film and song of Raj Kapoor is appreciated even today. Leading choreographers Leena Goyal from Amrapali Group, Ashwini and Svetlana Nigam from Tarang Group, Lydia Kunova, Leela Prem Group, Shipra Joshi Jawaharlal Nehru Cultural Center, Tatiana Klichnikova Leela Prem Mix, Natalia Odegeva Amritsar Group came together with 75 of their students to put up the magnum opus. The evening began with a brief remembrance of the legend by Vama Safonova, a popular singer and television personality of Russia and a multiple cancer survivor. She spoke of the 1967 song about yogis by Vladimir Vysotsky, mentioning Raj Kapoor as one of the 3 best-known symbols of Indian culture in the Soviet Union, along with Shiva and yoga. She also shared Raj Kapoor's love for Russia and its philosophy. In the show, nearly 18 super hit songs from the iconic Awara Hoon to the heart-wrenching, soulful Jeena Yahan, Marna Yahan were performed with utmost zest. Bureau Report, Daily India.
And now you're watching Midday Prime, and let's take a look at what's making news across the world of business. Tanvi joins us with all the latest news from the world of business. Over to you, Tanvi.
Thank you, Mark. Up first in Business Prime, let's talk about how the domestic stock markets are doing today. Well, they have ruled largely weak amid some volatility so far on Wednesday. So the Sensex at the BSE had dropped 598 points, so 1% to 61,118 in afternoon deals a short while ago. And the Nifty at the National Stock Exchange had lost 204 points, so 1.1% to 18,215. The broader market today has taken even a bigger hit, with the BSE Mid-Cap Index losing 1.9% and the Small Cap Index plunging 2.3%. Talking about the top index losers on the BSE today, they are Titan Company, Bajaj Finserv, Power Grid Corporation, Hindustan Unilever and Sun Pharma, with losses of between 2 and 2.9%. The top index gainers are Bharti Airtel, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, with gains of between 0.6 and 3.3%. Other key Asian markets were mixed on Wednesday on worries about growth across the region. So MSCI's broadest index of Asia Pacific shares outside Japan added 0.3%, Japan's Nikkei 225 index added 0.1% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng index had jumped 1.2%. But China's Shanghai Composite Index had lost 0.2% and South Korea's Kospi Index had dropped 0.5%. Over on Wall Street, key US indices closed higher on Tuesday, with the biggest boosts from the technology and healthcare sectors. The investors appeared to bet on solid quarterly reports, even as some worried that it was too early to celebrate. In its fifth straight session of gains, the benchmark S&P 500 index gained 0.7%, off 0.4% from its record hit in early September. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 0.6%, its highest close in 2 months, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index rose 0.7%. Back home at the interbank forex market, the rupee had depreciated 26 paise against the dollar in opening trade on Wednesday, lifted by a weak US currency in the overseas markets. Later in afternoon deals, the rupee had strengthened a good 42 paise to 74 rupees 92 paise against the US dollar. At the multi-commodity exchange, both gold and silver are trading higher in afternoon deals today. So the precious yellow metal advanced 94 rupees at 47,374 rupees per 10 grams. Silver had strengthened 220 rupees at 64,670 rupees per kilo. So that's it from the world of business for the moment. Back to you, Mark.
Thanks very much, Tanvi. And now let's see what's making news across the globe. The third meeting of the Moscow format of consultations on Afghanistan will take place today. The meeting will be attended by a Taliban delegation and representatives from 10 countries, which include India. The External Affairs Ministry spokesperson, Arindam Bagchi, had earlier confirmed the participation for the talks. While this is going to be the second time that India comes face-to-face with the Taliban. Introduced in 2017, this is the first Moscow format dialogue since the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan in August. The participating countries are India, Afghanistan, China, Pakistan, Iran and Central Asian states. They will discuss security situation and the formation of an inclusive government in Afghanistan. Envoys from Russia, China and Pakistan held a meeting on Tuesday in Moscow and exchanged views on providing emergency humanitarian and economic assistance to Afghanistan. The Taliban delegation will be headed by the Deputy Prime Minister of the interim Afghan government, Abdul Salam Hanafi. Meanwhile, the United States has pulled out of the talks, citing logistical reasons, but said that it's open to participating in the future. However, Russia said that it shall not officially recognize the Taliban for now and wants the grouping to the Taliban, that is, to fulfill the promises that it had made while it came to power in Afghanistan. Speaking ahead of the Moscow talks, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that the group's promises, they particularly included political and ethnic inclusivity in the makeup of a government.
Like most of the other influential countries in the region, we are in contact with the Taliban. We are prodding them to fulfill the declarations they made when they had come to power, including securing an inclusive government, both ethnically and politically, so that the full range of society's political views would be represented in the government. Official recognition of the Taliban is not under discussion for now, and it was told publicly.
North Korea confirmed on Wednesday that it had test-fired a new ballistic missile from a submarine. This is a day after the authorities in South Korea and Japan detected an apparent weapons test. Now, South Korea's military reported on Tuesday that it believed North Korea had fired a submarine-launched ballistic missile off its east coast, the latest in a string of North Korean missile tests. The new type of submarine-launched ballistic missile was launched from the same submarine involved in the 2016 test of the older SLBM. North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, was not reported to have attended this test. Analysts noted that photos released by the KCNA appeared to show a thinner missile than North Korea's earlier SLBM designs, which means more but shorter range missiles could be stored on a single submarine and potentially cause a lot more problems. And now it's time for news from the world of sports. And here's Samriddhi with all the sports news. Over to you, Samriddhi.
Well, thanks, Mark, and good afternoon and welcome to Sports Prime. First up, cricket. India will take on Australia in their second warm-up match of the T20 World Cup 2021 at the ICC Academy ground in Dubai. Now, both the teams enter this match on the back of wins in their previous games, and India beat the England side by 7 wickets in their first warm-up match. England posted a total of 188 for 5, but the Virat Kohli-led Indian side chased down the target with 6 balls to spare. On the other hand, Australia beat New Zealand in their first warm-up match, and batting first, the Kiwis scored 158 for 7 in their allotted 20 overs. The Kangaroos chased down the target with 3 wickets and 1 ball to spare. Scotland are on a just a win away from the qualifying for the Super 12 stage of the Men's T20 World Cup after claiming a second victory in 3 days. Scotland, who shocked Bangladesh on the opening day of the tournament, beat Papua New Guinea by 17 runs in Oman. Now, Scotland will progress as winners of Group B if they beat Oman tomorrow. Meanwhile, with a super bowling show from Mustafizur Rahman and Shakib, Bangladesh defeated Oman in their second match of the T20 World Cup 2021 at Al Amirat Cricket Ground yesterday. Now, this was a must-win game for Group B favourites Bangladesh to stay alive in the tournament, as Oman and Scotland were at the top 2 spots in the group. Jatinder Singh top scored for Oman with his 40-run knock, but no other batter looked in a good touch against Bangladesh bowlers. Earlier, while batting first, Bangladesh were bundled out for 153 runs in 20 overs as Oman's Bilal Khan returned with the figures of 3 for 18. And Fayaz Butt also took 3 wickets. Mohammad Naeem 64 top scored for Bangladesh and added 80 runs, with Shakib Al Hassan at 42 for the 3rd wicket. Bangladesh with 2 points are still at the 3rd spot in the Group B points table, while Scotland lead with 4 points. And the first day of the 5-day BWF World Tour Super 1000 badminton tournament turned out to be a fruitful one for the Indian shuttlers. The majority of Indian players posted wins to move up in Odense in Denmark yesterday. Star Indian shuttler PV Sindhu made a comeback after winning the bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympics, and Sindhu did not disappoint her fans on the opening day of the Victor Denmark Open with a quick-fire victory in the women's singles first round. Fourth seed made light work of Neslihan Yigit of Turkey with a commanding 21-12, 21-10 victory in exactly half an hour. And Sindhu will now face Thailand's Busanan Ongbamrungfan for a place in the quarterfinals today. In men's singles, the winner of the 2017 Denmark Open, Kidambi Srikanth, defeated compatriot B. Sai Praneeth 21-14, 21-11 in 13 minutes. With the win, Srikanth improved the head-to-head record to 6-3 against his regular practice partner Sai Praneeth, the world number 15. Srikanth had won Denmark Open in 2017, and world number 14 Srikanth will take on world number 1 Kento Momota of Japan in the second round today. Also, Sameer Verma shot the higher-ranked Thailand's world number 21 Kundawut with its son 21-17, 21-14 in 42 minutes. World number 28 Sameer is likely to square off against third seed Anders Antonsen of Denmark in the second round. Indian doubles players also had a good day. World number 7 Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty thumped the English pair of Callum Hemming and Stephen Stallwood 23-21, 21-15 in their first round outing. Next up, soccer. Mohamed Saleh netted a double as Liverpool secured a 3-2 victory over Atletico Madrid, whose forward Antoine Griezmann also scored twice but was sent off in a gripping Champions League clash on Tuesday. Salah opened the scoring with a deflected effort in the 8th minute, and Naby Keita added a second with a thunderous volley 5 minutes later as Liverpool looked set to crush Diego Simeone's side. The win kept Liverpool top in Group B on 9 points, 5 ahead of second place Atletico, and Porto in third, with AC Milan pointless at the foot of the table. And Riyad Mahrez scored twice, and Cole Palmer got his first Champions League goal for Manchester City as Pep Guardiola's side put in a super performance to sweep aside Belgian side Club Brugge. The visitors were sleek and confident from start to finish as they moved to within 1 point of Group A leaders Paris Saint-Germain with their second win in the competition. Well, that's all from the world of sports for now. Back to you, Mark.
Well, thanks very much, Samriddhi. And there's some breaking news that's coming in. Audi and Khan has been denied bail in the cruise drug case. And for more on this, we are going across to Yogesh Sheetal. Yogesh, fill us in with the details. Why has he been denied bail?
See, it's a big setback for Audi and Khan and also other accused in this case. We have seen that on 8th of October, the Magistrate Court had rejected their bail, and later on they had challenged that order basically in the Sessions Court, and today also Sessions Court refused to give their bail. Now, what are the important arguments? Let me come to the core arguments from the NCP. NCP says that Devon is relying that this is a very early stage of the investigation, and if any of the accused is said to be free at this point in time, then that will temper the entire investigation that is being carried out by the agency. This was the core argument by the NCP. Apart from that, also they have advanced number of supplementary arguments. For example, the NCP was arguing in fact in the court that a lot of WhatsApp chats have been surfaced, which shows that how they were in constant touch, with the drug peddlers. Also, on the revelations, on the basis of the revelations made by Aryan Khan, more arrests were taking place later on, like Achit Kumar and also Shivraj Harijan. These two accused were arrested later on. So NCB basically successfully convinced the court that the accused are a part of larger conspiracy, and that's why they don't deserve bail at this juncture. So I think court was convinced on that argument, and that's why the bail application has been rejected.
And what happens next, Yogesh? Now what happens from here?
See, Munmun Dhanikya's advocate has already said, already had a word with media, and they have said that they are going to challenge this order to the High Court. So now the ball is the High Court's court now. It remains to be seen whether the High Court gives them relief. But this is, however, it remains to be seen, because since it was 2 days marathon argument in the Sessions Court, so I don't think it will be very easy to get bail from the High Court as well.
Okay, and the final points from the prosecution's point of view, what are they planning to do? The custody continues, so questioning continues. Is a charge sheet being built up, and is the case going to go to court?
Yes, definitely. That is what the further course of action now, because once the bail is rejected, investigation is already underway. More suspects are already in the radar, under the radar of the agency. So I think on the legal front, they will definitely be preparing for a strong charge sheet so that their case could stand on court. On the other end, also parallel investigations are on. They are trying to catch more suspects, more culprits in this case. So that is on legal front, and also they will definitely be preparing themselves for the Bombay High Court because more legal bed has arrived.
Thank you very much, Yogesh Sheetal, for giving us those inputs. And with that, we conclude Midday Prime for today. Thanks for being with us. Namaskar.